To reinstall a new thermistor, using a needle nose pliers, grab the thermistor at the connector end. Careful not to damage the connector itself, and pass it through the grommet underneath the upper housing. Once that is done, using a needle nose pliers, grab the end of the thermistor and pull it through. Next, we want to reattach the thermistor to the discharge line. In order to do so, using a piece of foil duct tape, the foil tape on a discharge line, and lay the thermistor flat against the discharge line, making sure that the thermistor is against the copper and it is not resting on top of any of the foil tape. And then simply wrap the foil tape around, and squeezing at both ends to ensure that no air gets inside. Next, we're going to reinstall the insulator. And what the insulator does is that it ensures that the thermistor reads the temperature of the discharge line and not the temperature of the air passing through the unit. We'll simply put the insulator over the thermistor, and using 2 zip ties, wrap the zip ties around the insulator, and this will ensure that the thermistor cannot move. Once that is done, reach around back and pull the thermistor to where the slack is just even with the rest of the wiring harness. Reattach the end of the thermistor to the control board. And then reinstall the control board, and when you do, make sure that there are no wires that are in danger of being pinched between the board and the upper housing. And finally, reinstall the 6 screws that hold the control board to the upper housing. Once the control board is in place and you have the thermistor wire alongside of the harness, gather the harness together with a single zip tie, wrap it around the entire harness, and this will ensure that everything in the harness will stay in place. And remove the excess from the cable ties.